Hey everybody, this is Laura from TheRealLauraB here on YouTube and Twitter. I'm going to be starting a new series on my channel, and I just wanted to give you a heads up and some explanation. So I've been covering a lot of Depp v. Heard, and it seems that that's what my viewers are very interested in. Same with Amber versus her insurance companies, and also the Unsealed series. I've also been covering the weekly roundup and any projects Johnny's doing. But I have hundreds and hundreds of documents, many of which I purchased from pre-trial motions that I think I'd like to memorialize and might give you a strong background in what happened before the trial came up. And I'm calling this series the pre-trial battleground. The pre-trial battleground, if I can say it right. So give me a second and I will tell you about it.
Hi, I'm Laura, also known as TheRealLauraB from Twitter, and now here on YouTube. I'm a researcher, new wave internet media, and commentator. I'm not a lawyer nor offering any legal advice. Join me on a journey to review the world of celebrity lawsuits and current events. Let's get started.
So I've recently done a video explaining how important it was for Warner Brothers to give deposition in the trial in Virginia and how hard they fought to not be included. They wanted nothing to do with this. And they were served a subpoena, and because their business is in California, that they filed in California to quash that motion. And that's how it works. The governing body is the state that you are resided in or your business is in, is who governs the subpoena. So Virginia can issue the subpoenas, but if there's any arguments, it's going to follow the laws of the city, even if not the state that you reside in. So here's a little snippet I'm going to pull out and stick in here that will explain it. Okay, well, let's start off with how these out-of-state subpoenas work across our country. And we go to the American Bar Association, and it says UIDDA, which is an acronym, and how it affects the out-of-state subpoena process for state cases. The act provides a standardized means for litigants to take depositions and obtain discovery from individuals and entities located out of state. Now, for this, we're talking about out of state. Virginia would be the state where the claim was filed. Virginia is the home state. Any subpoenas that Johnny issued from the Virginia case to, say, California residents or businesses, New York City residents, businesses, or Washington, D.C. resident businesses are out-of-state subpoenas, or sometimes called foreign subpoenas. In an effort to streamline the onerous, time-consuming process of conducting out-of-state discovery for state court cases, the Uniform Law Commission developed the Uniform Interstate Depositions and Discovery Act, promulgated in 2007. The UIDDA, or UIDDA, has been adopted by a majority of states and provides a standardized means for litigants to take depositions and obtain discovery from individuals and entities located out of the state. The UIDDA harmonizes the out-of-state subpoena process for state court cases and Federal Rule in Civil Procedure 45, based on the federal rule. When seeking out-of-state discovery in a state court proceeding, a litigant must first obtain a subpoena from the state court where the case is venued, Fairfax, Virginia. And we saw those subpoenas uploaded. Not all of them. We found out there were more hidden, but most of them were uploaded. The litigant must then present the subpoena to the clerk in the county in which the discovery is sought. Thereafter, the clerk shall promptly issue a local subpoena for service upon the person or entity for whom discovery is sought. It is important to note that the subpoena must comply with all state rules and statutes related to discovery, meaning it doesn't mean it has to conform to Virginia's rules. If they're serving someone in California, it has to conform to their rules. California is one of the states that I think you must serve in person unless the person you're serving is authorized their lawyer to accept service or something like that. But generally you have to do in-person service, although there's other steps after that. But the bottom line is whatever the judge rules in California, Virginia judge does not overrule. They follow whatever they've ruled. The UIDDA repeals the law in those states where discovery is sought that still require a commission or letter rogatory from a trial court before a deposition can be taken in those states. Under the UIDDA, a subpoena request does not constitute a court appearance, and therefore the out-of-state litigant is not required to be licensed in the state. Therefore, one does not need to be admitted pro hac vici or obtain local counsel when requesting a subpoena pursuant to UIDDA. However, a local state license is required to file, respond, or appear in court related to an application to enforce, quash, modify, or obtain a protective order concerning a subpoena issued pursuant to UIDDA. So Johnny Depp, Amber Heard, and many other people who were subpoenaed had their own lawyers in California. Those lawyers did not have to be licensed in Virginia because that's where the case was. They were arguing the subpoenas, for example, in California. As of 2016, here's the following states. And the ones that matter to us are District of Columbia, New York, and California. Where did I just see California? California, District of Columbia, and New York are the ones that affected Johnny. In addition, legislation to adopt the UIDDA has been introduced in Arkansas and Ohio. It remains critical to check the requirements of both the state and locality where your case is venued and the state and locality where you seek conduct discovery, because some states have adopted slight variations and other states have only recently adopted it or will in the coming months. The state in which you are attempting to obtain has adopted UIDDA. The process will be more efficient and less expensive than what it used to be. So let me show you what's happened in California. Amber Heard filed her first motion. Now watch your eyes. Amber Heard versus the Mandel Company. And here's our case number. And it started October 29th, 2019. Now, why does it say Mandel Company here? Hold on, watch your eyes. I've got to go to the bottom. And we have many, many motions, as you can see, filed. The first motion, she opened a civil case sheet wanting a petition and memorandum to enforce a subpoena. She was trying to force the Mandel Group to provide documents. Well, that was from a lawsuit that Johnny had done, but that was the first subpoena motion was filed. Because of that, that's how this case got named versus the Mandel Group. Although you will see many, many more have been added. Many other subpoenas have been come up. There's the Mandel Group. And there's many others that eventually get added in. I want to watch your eyes. A lot of these you have to open up to see them. I've purchased a lot of these, not all of them. Here's Jacob Bloom, Chris Carino, Tracy Jacobs, Jack Wiggum. I'm just going to name a few of these. Goodman Shankman is this is an omnibus petition that he was trying to block because they were excessive, over broad subpoenas. Miramax, Bruckheimer, Walt Disney. Walt Disney is an interesting one to cover. Stephen Deuters, Christy Dombrowski. Stephen Deuters was being subpoenaed here because he was working for Infinitum Nihil in California. So I think they were trying to serve him through the company. But anyway, watching your eyes, we're going to go forward a couple years, actually. So I hope that makes sense, that you know that on the battleground before pre-trials, Johnny had many, many motions. He had over 300 motions and documents in California alone that they were battling back and forth, mostly on subpoenas. The same with Adam Waldman's subpoena was argued in Washington, D.C., where he resides, and the ACLU was argued in New York City. So I'm going to start bringing those documents and tie them together, maybe in a part 1, part 2 with unsealed or deeply heard, to see how they fit in. Because there's some really important ones, like we just did Warner Brothers. There's going to be Disney. There's going to be Twitter. There's going to be LAPD and how she fought so hard to keep them out, and a multitude of other people. So I thought you'd be interested in that. So I hope you'll enjoy that series. And thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.